What's going on, everyone? Welcome to KO Bets. My name is Bill. Tonight we're breaking down UFC Fight Night. Derek Lewis taking on Rodrigo Nascimento. Let's get into it. Before we do, we're still at 74 subscribers on YouTube. I'm giving away a UFC strike moment when we hit 100 subscriptions on there. It's free. If you aren't already, give me a follow on Twitter. Every Saturday morning, we're tracking bets, so I'll post my picks there for free. We got to recap UFC 301. We had a very good card. I think we finished up like 3.5 units. Pantoja won. Yeah, I didn't think it was like super dominant, and I did think Urseg looked very good. I thought Pantoja won it. And then we had Jose Aldo with just an outstanding performance against Jonathan Martinez. That was a bad pick by me, taking Jonathan Martinez. Anthony Smith with the big upset over Petrino with the round 1 submission. Michael Pereira, round 1 submission. Barallo with the TKO. Brito. Jasmine Lucindo. I think I put like a quarter unit on Carolina. She didn't have any answers for Yasmin. Oralbao was a great parlay piece for us. Jakar Close got the win. That was a good piece. Roofy, another good parlay piece. Barbosa looked great again. Well, yeah, I thought she looked pretty good. I'm trying to think back on that fight. I don't know. I don't really remember that one. I don't think we had any money on that fight, though. Bonfim with the decision win. I tickled them down from minus 535 as a parlay piece. We used the KO or decision. It was like minus 305. It was just a little bit better. And then Costa looked phenomenal. Looked absolutely phenomenal against Borjas. Let's get into UFC St. Louis. Man, tickets were very reasonably priced. This would have been a fun trip from Chicago. Hopefully they come to the United Center, maybe like next year. I went to with my best friend. I went to it was Whitaker against Yoel Romero. I forget what pay-per-view event it was. It might have been like 284. Covington, RDA. We saw CM Punk make his debut, I'm pretty sure, against, what's the journalist who sucks? Just a miserable dude. Is it Mike Jackson? Yeah. And it was Tai Tuivasa. He did a shoey, I think. He was on that card, and it was just, dude, I was cage side. It was so cool. It was so cool. JJ Aldrich taking on Veronica Hardy. Both of these fighters are coming off of 2 wins each. Hardy's looked really impressive in her last 2 fights. Granted, it's not against the best competition. We're talking about Jamie Leen Horth and Juliana Miller. It's just not very good at all. And then Aldrich is coming off of 2 wins against De La Rosa and Nad Liang, which isn't much better, right? I think in this fight, I'm just favoring the improvements we've seen out of Veronica Hardy. She took a couple years off, and she's just really good now. She looks really good. She's the younger fighter. I think she's going to have more output on the feet. I do think it's going to be a close fight. I think there's going to be a few of those to start the card, few close decisions, but I'm going to roll with the favorite in Veronica Hardy. Her odds are right now at -142. Man, this is a fight where you could definitely tickle the, I think it's a fight, is it a, fight props? To be won by split or majority decision is only +250. So I think people are kind of on that. Usually, I think like normally the odds on that is, it's usually like +400 to +450. That's probably where you're looking to attack those split decision happenings. But yeah, I'm gonna roll with Veronica Hardy, and I just think I just think she's gonna have a little more output and be the minute winner on the feet. The next fight is Charles Johnson taking on Jake Hadley. And man, like, I'm back and forth on this one. I was really impressed with Charles Johnson against Makayev, actually. But then, you see him against Durden, and you see there's a relatively easy path to victory against Charles Johnson, which is just to spam the takedowns, kind of like Merab style. Because that's tiring, hard to defend. But he's clearly an athlete. He's a powerful striker. I think he's coming off of a KO victory his last fight. Maybe it's... Oh no, it's a decision. And like, I think he's really talented. I just don't love the output from Charles Johnson. And he's fighting Jake Hadley, and the good news is I don't think Jake Hadley's going to be going for takedowns. So I do think this fight plays out on the feet, and I think it's going to be another really close one. I know right now the numbers suggest that Charles Johnson throws more strikes per minute. I'm telling you, I think Jake Hadley's he's going to be the minute winner from an output perspective. And then you're just looking at Charles Johnson to keep up with him, and he did look a lot better in his last fight. Let's actually look at that. I don't know if he even dropped round 1. He looked good. Oh no, he probably dropped round 1 because of the knockdown and submission attempt, but then got a takedown of his own and was out striking, got to work. So I mean, he looked pretty good his last fight. Does it carry over to this fight? I kind of, and he's from St. Louis, I kind of think he's going to show out. And I think this fight's going to take place on the feet, and the underdog odds right now just make him more enticing, but I can't put my money on Charles Johnson. I'm going to take him as my pick, but I don't think I can bet money on Charles. I like a decision result in this. Like, if anything, I'm potentially using this as maybe like a parlay or round robin piece over 2.5, fight to go the distance. I'd rather do 2.5. So, I mean, I'm going to go with Charles Johnson as the pick to win a close decision. Maybe also, let's check that split decision result. Fight props, +300. Yeah, you could do better, usually, for that. I mean, I think those first two fights are going to be really, really close decisions out of the gate. Billy Ray Goff taking on Trey Waters. This is going to be a fun one. I think it's going to be one that ends inside the distance, just given the striking prowess of both of these guys. Billy Ray Goff, pressure, nice power, 7 knockout wins. Trey Waters, really, really tall, 6'5", 77-inch reach, keeps his hands low, really nice striker. I mean, if Billy Ray Goff is going to be able to close the distance, get takedowns, and just smash them, in the pocket, he might catch Trey Waters, who keeps his hands pretty low, but I think the low hands are going to help with the takedown defense, like a Bobby Green. He keeps his hands super low, and they're right there to start digging for underhooks, right? So I think this fight's going to take place primarily on the feet, and then it's like, can Billy Ray Goff get him to start, biting on that takedown and like start clipping them with overhands and closing the distance at the same time? I don't know. Someone's getting knocked out. I'm gonna roll with Trey Waters. I like him in this fight. I think he's got obviously the reach advantage, and he's just such a savvy striker. I think he's able to stay on the outside. I think he can even pick his moments to hurt Billy Ray Goff with his strikes, and I think he probably gets him out of there and like midway through round 2. So I'm gonna go with Trey Waters here. Love the knockout for either guy. So you could definitely hedge it either way. Odds makers agree this is not going to go the distance. The over-under line is set at 2.5. I like the under. I think it's someone's going to get knocked out. Tabitha Ricci taking on Tisha Pennington. Yeah, Tisha's coming off a 2-year layoff after having a kid, and I think if that time off wasn't in there, I think I'd feel pretty good about siding with her. And then if you like Tabitha Ricci, she's gotta get takedowns. That's her best path to victory, I think, in this fight, and because I think Tisha's going to be the better striker. So I think Tisha's able to keep it standing. I mean, let's check out the odds. Yeah, Tisha's the underdog, so I'm going to go with the dog pick in Tisha to get it done. Just be the better striker, stop the takedowns. I think this fight does go the distance. I like the Tisha Torres Pennington plus 140 decision. Probably not enough juice on that, considering she's plus 120, right? So don't take the decision. Just take the money line if you like her. And I mean, if Ricci's not able to get takedowns, I don't think it's going to be a close fight. If she's getting takedowns, I don't think it's going to be a close fight. So even though it's a decision, I think one fighter is going to win pretty decisively. Terrence McKinney taking on Esteban Rivadex. And man, I love Terrence McKinney. Super entertaining fighter. But like, he's a home run hitter, and when he's not hitting the home runs, he's getting finished. I have all of his fights. I don't know if he's been to a single decision in his career. Yeah, no, he hasn't. So, I mean, if he doesn't get a finish in the first 2 minutes, like, there's a very high likelihood he's losing this fight. And for that reason, I got to go with Esteban Rivadex, whose only loss is a decision. He's extremely durable. He's got great cardio. I think he's going to be there for 15 minutes. And if you're there for 15 minutes, McKinney's not going to be. So I got to go with Rivadex here. I like Rivadex inside the distance, probably the knockout, but you could go inside. Not enough juice on that. Odds makers know this isn't going the distance. It's always fun to tickle those because it's amazing, when it happens. But I gotta go with Estevan here to get it done. Chase Hooper taking on Vyacheslav Borshev. Grappler versus striker. Really good grappler against really good striker. Really bad striker against really bad grappler. That's the matchup. So, take who you want here. I'm going to go with Borshev. The fight starts on the feet, and Chase Hooper just is not very defensively sound, in my opinion. And he's just shaky with the striking approach, and I don't know what he needs to do. He needs to I think he just needs to join a gym do what Strickland's doing and spar all the time, Maybe take a year off and just spar on the feet. But I'm going to go with Borshev here. I'm going to go with Borshev KO at plus 110. You can always hedge it with the submission from Chase Hooper. But, yeah, I think Hooper gets cracked pretty early, and Borshev just puts him away. Waldo Cortez Acosta taking on Robles Spain. Some people think Acosta's going to fraud check Robles, but I don't think this is the week it happens. You got two strikers going against each other, and Robles is just massive. 6'7", 87-inch reach, and massive power. Only 5-0 in his career. All 5 wins are coming via knockout. And then you got Acosta, who's, never been knocked out, but I think this is the fight. I think Robles knocks out Acosta. Give me Robles to get it done. Minus 250. Not going to touch the prop bet there. Odds makers don't like this to go the distance. I agree. You could even probably, hedge your bet with the Acosta plus 205 there. Robles, yeah, and we could go even early, right? Fight parlays. Yeah, minus 110. New, thank you. Alex Caceres taking on Sean Woodson. I like Alex Caceres a lot. I like the karate style, but I think this is going to be a tough fight for him to win against Sean Woodson, who's a really tall fighter for the division, really long reach, and just such a sound striker. I think if Caceres were to come out there and wrestle, that might be good for him, but I don't think that's how it's going to play out. I like the output of Sean Woodson. I like him to be the minute winner. Yeah, let's check out the numbers real quick for Caceres. He's only got one knockout loss. Back in 2015. And then Woodson, decision machine, 7-0 in decisions. So maybe we do something like, let's check out this. We're going with Woodson, right? Winning method, decision, people like that. Fight lines, decision only. Minus 330. It's a little heavily juiced, but we could use that as a parlay piece potentially. Or we could just use the, the money line as a parlay piece at minus 230. I just like Woodson to be the minute winner here. Diego Ferreira taking on Mateus Rebecki. Mateus Rebecki's good. He looked really good on Contender Series. He looked good in his debut. Has he had a couple fights now in the UFC? Or just one? I mean, he looks good. Yeah, he's at 3. He's taking on Diego Ferreira, who's just, I think, a little bit older now. Really good grappler. Dangerous on the mat, but I think Rebecki is going to be the more well-rounded fighter here. I think he could stay safe if he chooses to be a grappler in this fight, but I think the best path to victory for Mateus is going to be on the feet. He's quick, and he throws these looping bombs they're not that looping because he's got a 66-inch reach. It's like just at the elbow. He's just looping them over, and he's quick. His hand speed is nice. He's got great cardio. There's no way he's losing a round to Ferreira. And maybe Ferreira could catch him with something, but I just don't see it happening. I kind of like the Rebecki KO. Odds makers do too. I could see a decision victory, so maybe we could tickle it down to minus 300 as a parlay piece for Rebecki, the KO or decision. Fight parlays, Rebecki and over. A round and a half is minus 110. I kind of like that. I think Rebecki's he throws hard, but I think he's one of those guys where the damage is cumulative for him. It's collectively the output, that's what hurts people. Alonzo Menningfield taking on Carlos Ulberg. I've been back and forth on this one. I don't like the odds for Ulberg, but I gotta kind of agree with it. Alonzo Menningfield, huge power, but if Ulberg's also got really outstanding power, and he lost the debut to Kennedy, but since then he's undefeated, and he's knocking people out, and he's going to have a reach advantage here. He's the better, I think he's the better kicker. I wouldn't recommend throwing too many kicks. We saw what happened against Dustin Jacoby. Menningfield, he can just fire straight rights and put you on your butt. So I think Ulberg's going to be better off, establishing a jab and maybe kicking to the body, if anything. But the low kicks, I don't know, man. Bodying up. You want to attack that lead leg, obviously. Ulberg does have really good kicks, but you just got to be careful. I'm going to go with Ulberg to get it done here. He is the heavy favorite at now minus 265. I guess, the decision at plus 300. The KO's at minus 110 here. Menningfield kind of, when he gets behind on the scorecard, I kind of think he gets a little hesitant, just looking for that KO counter. But Ulberg's so slick. I think he's going to be able to avoid that. Give me Ulberg to get it done, and I guess I like the decision at plus 300. Joaquin Buckley taking on Nursultan Ruzboev. Joaquin wanted this fight on the St. Louis card. And he's good. He's a good fighter, carries really good knockout power, but I think Nursultan's just, yeah, we don't know that much about him, but here's a dude with how many fights? 42, 44, 46 fights, professional fights. I mean, and we haven't seen him extended. Look at all these round one finishes. Lost a decision. You know, these 3-round decisions, though, he's losing. So does he gas out? Maybe. Maybe that's the play. But I like taking Ruzboev, the finish, the early finish for him. I'm gonna go with the underdog here. And then if I'm looking to maybe cover, maybe I'm hedge, maybe I'm doing a live bet on Buckley if this gets extended past round, a little bit into the second. But I think the odds might switch where Buckley's the underdog at that point. But give me the finish for Nursultan. The KO or submission is at plus 175. I mean, the KO is what's most likely, right, to happen. But yeah, I like Nursultan in that fight. And then we got Derek Lewis taking on Rodrigo Nascimento, and Derek's got to win this one. Derek's got to get the knockout win. I don't think he's fought anyone, as low level as Nascimento in a long time. Almeida, Lima, Spivak, Pavlovich, Tuivasa, Dawkins, Gane, Blades. Like, damn, this dude fights a lot. But you know what I mean? It's been against this kind of fighter, Rodrigo, he typically does very well. Rodrigo's got the better output. You can like him to be the minute winner. You can like him to potentially score takedowns in this fight. But Derek Lewis is going to catch him. He's going to catch him. He's going to hurt him. So give me the Derek Lewis KO, minus 162. The KO's at minus 135. I don't really even like the round 1 KO at plus 200 there. So I'm going to just probably take Derek Lewis to find a knockout at some point in this 5-round fight. Let's check out the basketball scores real quick. The Knicks came back and they're now winning. Holy shit, in the third. Just as a small parlay, I did the 2 underdogs. So I took the Knicks and the Nuggets tonight. And it was like pretty insane odds. Let's see what we're at. And then I did some baseball. Which none of those games are over. I took Houston, they're up 5-2. I took Baltimore, they're up 3-2. I took Philly, they're up 6-0. I took Boston, they're down 1-3. I took the Dodgers, Mariners, Giants, Rangers, that's a tie game. And then the Nuggets and Knicks parlayed was plus 733. I'll probably, when my baseball bets start going through, I'll probably put a little bit on the Nuggets. I know the T-Wolves are really, really sound defensively, but I kind of like the Nuggets to get one game on the road here. I think I've lost both of those bets. Anthony Edwards, the defense, it's just ridiculous what the Timberwolves are doing. And then, like I said, if you want to follow me on Twitter, it's like right here. You can do that. I'll I'll post my bets every Saturday morning so you can see those and follow me. Yeah, I think. What's he trending? Dante DiVincenzo. Is he having a good game? I didn't really even check the box score to see what was going on. $32 points. Nice job. Well, I appreciate everyone tuning in tonight. Again, if you haven't already, please like the stream, subscribe to the channel. I appreciate the support tremendously. Have a great weekend, everyone. I'll see you next Friday.
You